Hello, this is Sharif with Engadget. We're looking at the HTC Titan running Windows Phone. The first thing you'll notice is this is a 4.7-inch screen along the diagonal, and that makes this a pretty big device. And if you're worried about carrying this thing in your pocket, then I think the best thing I can do is provide a bit of context. Here we have the 4.3-inch Sensation XE. We're looking at about half a centimeter of difference along in the height, which you can probably see there, about 5 mils there, and also 5 mils here on the side. So width and height both getting about 5 mils extra, which isn't that much really. It may be less than you're expecting. Then, in terms of weight, this thing is still a decent weight, 160 grams. That's actually less than the Evo 3D. If we do a quick comparison there, the differences in height and width are slightly reduced because the Evo 3D is bigger. Also, the Evo 3D is thicker, whereas the Titan is only it's just under 10 millimeters. Both this and the Sensation XE are substantially thicker. I mean, I would actually rather be carrying this in my pocket than the Evo 3D. So, yes, it's big, but it isn't too big. And you get a lot of benefits from that size. You get this amazing screen, you get the ability to type on the really nice Windows Phone keyboard, which is a really nice minimal keyboard, and at this screen size, it's extremely easy to type on without really... Everyone always types this as a test. I guess I'm just the same as everyone. Well, when I'm not doing this looking through a camera lens, I'm really good at typing on this thing. And that's a direct benefit of the screen size. Quick tour of the ports and the camera. We've got your 8 megapixel camera on the back there. A very nice camera, very different to the one in the Sensation. What do we got? We've got your little button to flip the case open here. We've got your dedicated camera button. There you can see it, very nice and quick, loads up the camera really quickly. And your volume rocker, which is on this side here, so you're actually controlling with your thumb, and that works really well. And then on the top you have your power button, just there. Yeah, maybe kind of like hard to reach around this device, but I didn't really have any problems. And then the 3.5mm jack there, and your USB port. And if we just open it up, here you can see this lovely wraparound machined aluminium case, classic HTC style, but really well executed, perfectly rigid case. I like the way it feels, the way it looks. It just feels like real quality, and that's the thing I notice when I pick it up, is the quality of the build, not the size. One thing missing: no micro SD slot, no expandable storage. You get 16 gigs, of which around 12 gigs is usable. That will obviously put off a lot of people. It's a mistake they've also made with the Sensation XL, which is really an Android version of this phone in white, which also doesn't have expandable storage. There's your SIM slot, the battery, 1600 mAh, perfectly decent. Even though it's a big panel, you would have thought it would draw a lot of power. This is only a single core machine, and actually my battery lasted just fine. And did a quick benchmark of it, and it lasted around 3 hours on a benchmark test, which is around the same as the old Trophy, the old HTC Trophy. So this has a smaller screen, less power, but this lasted just as long. So yeah, no problems there at all. Let's flip this back in. You can see a dual LED flash there. Didn't mention that. The camera is really nice, if I didn't mention. I've been using it a lot. Perhaps one small thing with the build quality is, I mentioned this in my text review, there's a kind of give here. I don't know if you can see this coming across, but the way it fits in, there's some flex in the way it fits in there. So when you pick it up, you can sometimes feel that cushioning. Small things like that can annoy me. To be honest, I can look past this one. Probably most people wouldn't even care. Let's boot this back up. My battery's nearly dead on it. Let's see. It boots quickly. I've had no problems with the processor. I'd rather actually have reliable battery life. Sometimes with the Sensation XE, which is dual core, you do some task that would obliterate your battery in an unexpected way that you couldn't account for when you're out and about. So you'd be caught, you'd be stuck basically, and that doesn't happen here. So I'm generally pleased with the battery life. Let's just press the camera button here. You can see how quickly it loads up. I'm not going to show you around because I'm in a room which we had a party here, and it's a mess and it's embarrassing. And anyway, just take it from me, the camera is fast. And look at my sample shots. And here we have our panorama shot mode, which is really nice, where you take a shot, then it asks you to move to another place and hold, and so on. And yeah, well, I'm going off the screen there, but it works really well, and you can see some panorama examples on the text review. Let's have a look. Well, that's where I'm sitting. It's a partially built extension. That's the kind of thing you get with a panorama shot. Really enjoy taking these. Right, what else? So we've had a quick look at the OS just to mention the fact that how nice it is on the screen size. We have a full review of Mango, so I don't need to go into all of that here. Do check out our Mango review. But like I said, the screen size really brings to life this OS. I like how big these tiles become. Even though this is a low-res screen, a disappointingly low-res screen, really, WVGA, with only, I think it's 216 pixels per inch here. And you can see the pixels up close. You can. HTC might say in interviews that it's irrelevant, that you can't see it at this point, but you can see it. On the other hand, at this resolution, the tiles are really big and bold, and everything feels, I don't know, it's just, this OS is just so simple. I mean, I struggle with, that's my battery dying there. Well, that's probably an indication that I should quit this quick video tour, but I was just saying that this is very much a fresh OS. It's something for early adopters. There's not many apps out there. There's occasional bugs where it's like it loads for ages and it needs to be turned off and turned on, or it gives you error messages that change every time, little things like that. And if you're not in America, you may have some trouble. If your Hotmail account isn't registered to the UK, or if you emigrate, whatever, there's a whole host of little niggles that come with the OS. But this is probably the best phone you can get at the moment to demonstrate the power and the beauty of the Windows Phone OS, Mango. So, do have a look at the detail in my written review. Thanks for your time.